Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Josie, and this is my Josie Cares channel. Today, what I'm doing is this is the second part of my work series. So this is part 2. And I'm starting from 13 years to 18 years old. So, and I did write some of this out, so some of it I'll be reading, some I will be just talking. And my intro script. Hi, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. Today, I'm taking you back to my high school days, a time filled with hard work, dedication, and some fun stories, too. While most teenagers are busy with homework and hanging out, I was also learning the value of the dollar. From babysitting to cleaning house, I found ways to help my family save money and grow into the woman I am today. This is the beginning of my high school work journey, and I hope it inspires you or brings back a few memories of your own. Let's get started. I'm going to start when I was 13. And times are much different now. It was a little safer when I was growing up. Believe it or not, my first babysitting job, I put an ad in the paper, and my parents approved this. Um, Nowadays that would be, I wouldn't even think of letting my children do something like that. And basically, my parents didn't know these people other than meeting them one time. So when I think back, I don't think I wouldn't have let my children start at 13 years old and babysit. I really wouldn't. Anyway, one of my babysitting jobs, and by the way, we didn't make the money that you make now. Although, hey, our money went just as far. One of my first babysitting jobs, I actually was 13 years old. And the lady came and got me because my mom didn't drive and my dad was working. And I would go to her house and actually spend the night and watch the kids while she was working and her husband was working. And I can't tell you exactly how much I made from that particular job. One of the jobs I had was every Saturday night. Believe it or not, most teenagers want to go somewhere. I babysat for this one couple. They were fantastic people. He played in a band, and they had one little baby. And I think the baby was 6 months old. And when I started that job, I was 14 years old. And she would get the baby down for bed, make sure baby was all taken care of. And then she would go to the club where her husband was playing in the band. And she would leave like about 9 o'clock at night. And they probably they didn't get home till like 2 in the morning. And so I spent the whole night there. I made $3 every Saturday. And these people were fantastic. I have to say, probably of all the jobs I had, it was the best one. And she would make me breakfast in the morning. They would bring me home. And I actually got to go on a couple of trips, day trips. They also realized that my parents didn't go anywhere. My mother didn't drive. They just didn't try, they weren't sightseers. They didn't go anywhere. So that was, and I had that job for, if I recall, at least a year and a half to 2 years. You remember, this has been a long time back. I've had to refresh my memory. And they just had the one child. I'm sure they've passed away many, many years ago. They were in, I think, their 30s when I was in high school. So anyway, I think I watched the little boy when I was 14 and 15, so a couple of years. And that $3 went a long way. Lots of times I used the $3 to buy snacks at school even. Um, I came, like I said, from a very poor family. And my parents didn't always have the money to give me for extra things. And so I would save and buy up something I wanted, or like I said, I would take it and buy something in the snack bar at the high school I went to. So, and then other jobs I had in high school, there was a department store, and I come from San Jose, California. There was a department store that once a year they hired people for inventory. And me and a friend of mine, we applied and I got the job. And I did that for, I think, a couple of years. They called me the second year. And so I could not tell you how much I made an hour, but that was interesting. Also in high school, I cleaned house. We had a neighbor who was expecting a baby and she needed help cleaning the house, and I cleaned house for her, and I actually babysat with the children that she had. She actually even gave me my first driving lesson because I didn't get my driver's license until I was 19 and married. But she gave me I think my first lesson. Anyway, besides in high school, my dad was no longer, we were no longer on a ranch, and he was working for Hewlett Packard computer place in maintenance. And I mentioned this in my first video. So where was I going with this one now? Anyway, oh, I know there is other places that were hiring for workers in the fruit. And my mom and I went and got a job in the pears. So basically, I have worked most of my life. And, I never, it was normal, it was natural for me to work. And again, it made me the person I am today. Let's see. The only thing like I said, and I did mention that on the Saturday night, I got $3 every Saturday night. I know the other babysitting jobs, I normally got like 35 cents an hour. And you know what they get today? Oh, it's good money today. That the one thing I thought back, like I said, really seriously about, you couldn't do that nowadays. The dangers out there. And the one particular babysitting job I had, and I didn't mention this to begin with, I think I was a sophomore in high school, and I had to take the city bus to this lady's house. And like I said, I was 14, 15 years old, and I watched her two little girls. And I think back to, I had experience helping with my younger brother, but to watch two little girls and all day long for 8 hours, amazing. Absolutely, to me, amazing. Like I said, I guess I wouldn't have allowed my children to do that. But again, times were different. So my feeling is today, I said this in my first video, parents need to teach their children how to work. This is what's kept me surviving. I'm not afraid of work. Never have been. I would say I'm a workaholic. There are times when maybe I should slow down and do nothing, and I'm not used to doing nothing. So I will find work no matter what. And let me just go through my notes really quick here. Oh, and one, I love the Saturday night one though. She always made sure that I had plenty of snacks like potato chips and all those kind of things. And I didn't have a lot of those things growing up. You know, we had goodies once in a while, but it wasn't something that you bought all the time. So, and I appreciate, ask questions if you put in comments. Even if you don't like something I said, I don't mind, as long as they're not mean and rude. Let's see here. I have a closing statement. You know, back then I thought $3 made me rich. And honestly, in my little world, it did. But here's the surprise. One of those Saturday nights babysitting job turned into something I never expected. I won't spoil it now, but let's just say what happened one night changed how I looked at grown-ups forever. I'll share this story in my video, so it's time to share this story. Okay, I don't know if I should share this story, but at that time, I had a boyfriend. And we didn't do anything bad now, but I invited him over, which was wrong. Especially without asking the people. But I did, and they came home early, and they met him. The surprising story, they liked him, and they ended up being friends with him, and if any young people are watching this, don't do something stupid like that. But they really liked him, and eventually we broke up. And actually, they were very upset about us breaking up and kept telling me, oh, he's going to come back. He's going to come back. So that was the little surprise in the story. And I actually went with this person, this young man, for 2 years. So anyway, I hope you got something out of this. My main purpose in doing this is I wanted to share parts of my life, of the work world, and why I am such a workaholic. I started as a small child. Like my first video, I was 8 years old. And I've never been sorry being in a poor family or wishing I was wealthy, because I don't think if I had been from a wealthy family and been handed everything, I would have survived in some of the situations that I was in my life. So don't ever be afraid of working. Hard work's not going to kill you. Laying around doing nothing is what's going to get you. So anyway, thank you for watching, everyone. And I hope you laughed at my little story. And my next one will be series 3. And that will start my real adulthood. And I've had some interesting jobs. So stay tuned. Watch everyone. Bye, everyone. Take care.